Hey guys, this is Tauna. Today we're going to be talking about Storm. She is one of the new characters coming with the Secret Lair Marvel, and I think she's probably the one that I'm most hyped for. I currently have a poll up on my YouTube community page. If you guys want to see one of these brewed and stuff, I'm going to brew probably all of them eventually, but I want to know which one you guys prefer. So at the moment, the poll is saying that 44% wanted Storm. So this is kind of like a preliminary kind of one that I'm looking at, and I will kind of go beyond this later. I don't actually have full deck brews, but I wanted to talk about 4 different ways that you can actually build up Storm. So she is a new Secret Lair card that was revealed today at New York Comic Con. Very interesting. So she's going to give the next instant or sorcery you cast after dealing combat damage Storm. There's lots of really cool ways to build her up, and just, I love her. She's so awesome. She's kind of like Yidris, who gives them Cascade. She's going to give them Storm instead. So like, there's so many different ways you can use this, and I'm just going to show you 4 different ones. So this is our Storm scale of the 4 different ones that we're doing. So obviously, you know, you've got your Spellslinger up here, which is the one that most people kind of look at very soon. But then below, we've got like a Voltron. And as we go down further, we've got Mill. Why don't we build her as Mill? And then down below here, there is whatever the hell my brother is brewing, which is, it's something you got to wait to see because it's crazy. All right, so we'll start out with Spellslinger. This is just simple, fair magic. We're going to be using a whole bunch of low mana or combat spells prior to dealing damage. And then we're going to swing in to deal our combat damage. And then we're just going to cast something big after that. Very straightforward. It's, you know, what you look at. Most people kind of look at it and be like, hey, this is the way that's going to work really well. We're going to utilize a lot of Magecraft triggers to get lots of value from storming off after combat. It likely plays very similar to like a Calamax, the Calamax here, that is where you get to copy it onto him and stuff. And then whenever you copy, you get to buff him up and stuff like that. So kind of similar like a Calamax Storm deck. So stuff like Grape Shot is going to be huge in here. Deal 1 damage to any target. We've got Storm on top of that. We've got like Storm Killed Artist and Archmage Emeritus, like the classic kind of Spellslinger, just Magecraft kind of stuff. Whenever you cast a spell, whenever you copy a spell, get value from it. And that's what you're going to be doing a lot with this version of Storm's deck. We've got other stuff like, you know, you got Storm's Will, because you can copy that and then just add a whole bunch of mana from it, exile a whole bunch of cards, and boom, get to do lots of stuff from that. And then you got like Underworld Breach to be able to bring these instants and sorceries back from your graveyard and then be able to kind of play them later on. So this is just kind of like a classic, you know, nice, fair Spellslinger one. So let's go down a bit further. After I asked you guys to subscribe, we are on our way to 10,000 subscribers. According to Social Blade, I am on the track to hit 10,000 by the 25th of November. I want to see if we can beat that. So let's see if we can beat that. I'm going to hit 10,000 by the end of the year. So we are getting really, really close. And it's just been, yeah, so huge shout out and thank you for all the support from you guys. So next up, we've got Voltron. So we're going down a little bit, like this is a bit more kind of in-depth here. So obviously Storm is a triggered ability. That means technically you can actually get Storm multiple times onto a spell. So let's say we get Storm onto a spell and then that already has Storm on it. That means it's going to have, you know, Storm. You can then copy it twice for each spell you've cast before that. So bear with me. That's going to be really awesome. But then we're going to build Storm up in this deck to have her swing in and become this big beast. And then from there, be able to storm more and then get extra combats and stuff. So going from Storm, first of all, we got a couple different kind of, you know, things to make her into a Voltron big beast. Make it so that she's unblockable, as well as giving her ward as well with Brotherhood Regalia. We've got Bria here, who's going to give her prowess. So now all of a sudden, you know, each spell you're casting is going to, boom, be able to give her +1. Now, that's not going to cast for copied spells. But it is also going to make her unblockable, but it's also going to make it so that, you know, she's getting buffed up and everything. Then we've got Helm of the Host. So what's better than 1 storm? Let's have 2 storms, each swinging in, giving the next thing storm on top of if it already had storm. So, you know, Boom. But the better part, this is the part that makes it go crazy, when you add in stuff with like double strike. Now all of a sudden she's dealing combat damage, putting storm onto something, then dealing combat damage again, putting storm onto it again. So that's how we get that double storm going. And then from there, you just keep going and adding more ways to get more, you know, combats, more damage. We're going to give her trample and stuff as well. So that way, you know, worst case scenario, they block her. Oh, now I'm going over top of you and killing it. We've got, as I said, like ways to make her unblockable. Overprotect, give her trample and haste. So a lot of kind of like combat tricks in addition to just like, you know, buffing her up with different equipment and making her huge. But the thing is, from beyond this, we're going to be dealing a lot of combat damage and we're going to be having storm on top of things, right? Now, the thing is that this is after you deal combat damage. It is not the first time you deal combat damage. It's not like, you know, anything like that. So if we go and deal combat damage additional times, we're going to give something more storm again. So we can go infinite with this relatively easily. If we've got something like Nahib, who makes it so we're gaining red for each life that an opponent lost, or we've got like, you know, Mana Geyser, which is just going to give us a whole bunch of red, and then go from something like, you know, Aggravated Assault. Boom, we're untapping. Now, technically, which is absolutely bonkers, she has vigilance. So it's, yeah, it's pretty crazy. And then we've also got overpowering attack. So this one here, if we deal combat damage, we're going to be able to free run this. So that's 2 and a red. And then it's got storm, etc., etc. Now, I believe that this is going to give us a bunch of additional combat phases, right? And then she's also going to have vigilance, so it doesn't matter if she untaps afterwards. The thing with these is that technically, because of the way they work, if she had have been tapped, then she wouldn't have been able to attack again because you're doing all the untaps. I believe that we should be able to just have a billion heaps of combat phases. I'm pretty sure that's how it works. If that doesn't work with this one, you know, there's other spells that give you combat phases and stuff, but Aggravated Assault is just, you know, probably the way to go. Just get red mana from dealing combat damage and stuff, and then boom, now you're just going to be able to get a whole bunch of additional combat phases over and over and over. It's really, really awesome. This is the one that I thought of, but then I thought of more. Why don't we mill, right? So we're going to be giving spells storm. So why not just give them to big spells that we're casting that people don't want you casting multiple times? Like, let's just mill everyone out. We're going to get value as everyone loses things from their deck as well. And yes, it's going to be mill within Teamer. There's no black here or anything. This is just fair mill because everyone expects your mill deck to be a black and, like, you know, have like Sir Conrad and stuff. No, we're not doing that. We're just having Storm mill you out. You have no cards in your library. Boom, now we're destroying you. So we've got stuff like this to start off with. Brain Freeze. This is going to then have Storm. You cast a whole bunch of things. You attack with Storm, you give your Brain Freeze Storm, and now each time you cast this, you're going to copy it twice for each thing you cast beforehand, and now you're going to be able to mill one person out. Or, you know, cut the losses. Just casualty this, sacrifice something, and now, you know, just mill someone for half their library, and then either mill another player for half their library, or mill that person for another half of their library, or however you want to do it. I don't care. Just mill them a whole bunch. We've also got stuff to take advantage of this, like Undead Alchemist. Whenever a creature is put into an opponent's graveyard from their library, exile it and create a 2/2 zombie. We're milling people for half their decks. Let's say they've got 30 creatures in their deck. We're going to get 15 black zombies out. And then guess what? Our zombies can also deal combat damage because fun. We've got C double here. There's a bunch of things that are like with essentially kind of like threshold, where if opponents have XYZ amount of cards in their graveyard, you can do stuff. C double is one of those. Or Countryside Crusher here, which is going to get a +1/+1 for each time a land is put into the graveyard from anywhere. Just keep milling him. Really, really cool. However, keep saying however. Why don't we just mill people for a set amount with a very cheap card? Fractured Sanity. This is going to cost you 3. Someone's going to mill for 14. And it's each opponent. Same with Maddening Cacophony. Mill someone, let's kick it, and then storm the kick, so that way people are just milling so much. It's just, and these are each opponent, right? So you can mill everyone at the same time for them. Add in a Brewvac, so that way you're doubling all your mill, and you can just mill people out in the most hilarious way possible, because Storm is just taking all their cards because she's an absolute queen. Finally, my brother, I should start calling my brother in Christ, because what the hell has he been smoking? I don't know what he's been smoking, but he's absolutely cooking with this. He is building this at the moment to show off. I might show this in a video. I don't know. I want to see which one you guys like most of these for. He is building a Slime Against Humanity deck with Storm, because you can storm your Slime Against Humanity, create more and more big slimes that then get bigger and bigger. I might have dropped him on his head a couple too many times when he was younger, because I don't know where he thought of this. It's just, yeah, this is crazy. So if you don't know what Slime Against Humanity is, it's you create a 0/0 green ooze creature token, and then it with trample. Then it gets +1 counters based off of 2 plus the total number of cards you own in exile or in your graveyard that are oozes or named Slime Against Humanity. So if we've got Slime Against Humanity, we've got 3 in our graveyard, right? 2 in exile, plus the one we cast. That's going to be 2 plus 5, so 7, 8, 9. Right? 2, 5, yeah. I believe. I can't remember what numbers I said now. So the great thing, oh man, the great thing with Storm is that usually this is going to be like a, you cast it maybe once or twice per turn if you've got lucky and you've got enough mana out. Now we're going to storm it as well. So we're going to take this and we're just going to create like 5 slimes that all have, counters on them, equal to the amount of times we've cast it before. It's crazy. And then we're going to add in a whole bunch of other stuff. So let's add in like Locket of Yesterdays. So we're playing a Slime Against Humanity. Now our Slimes Against Humanity cost 1 less that we're going to be playing, etc. We've got Rod of Absorption. So now when we play against Slime Against Humanity, they're going to get exiled. Let's say we've exiled 5 of them, right? Doesn't matter that they're exiled, because Slime Against Humanity is still going to see those ones that are exiled and still get better. Then we pay, 3 here. We sack it, and then we get to cast each of those Slimes Against Humanities that were exiled by this bloody thing without paying their mana cost. You're going to cast them. It's going to build up your storm scale, and then, yeah. And then you play your actual one for your turn, and now you've got, a storm scale of a storm of 5, and then you're going to play another one. It's crazy. We've got other stuff like, classic kind of stuff like Spellweaver Helix and Thrumming Stone, the stuff that you play when you've got a lot of the same card in here. Spellweaver Helix is great in this because, you just exile two Slimes Against Humanities, and then you're just going to copy them all the time. And then, for our win cons, Doubling Season, it's going to double each time you create against Slime Against Humanity with the counters on them. Double the counters as well, because why not? We've got Warstorm Surge. Now we're just dealing, 10 damage each time a slime enters, and then, 12 damage, and then et cetera, et cetera. And then all will be 1, because then each time we put a counter on something, now it's going to deal damage to someone and just be able to wipe people out really easily. This is bonkers, and I don't know, what's up with him, because I think that he's just absolutely brewed the most insane thing possible. So what are your thoughts? Which one do you guys like best? Which one do you think I should brew, or brew on a budget and show out in a video? Or do you want me to show them all, or what? Like, okay, so we've got this. I'll go back to the ice glacier back here. Do you guys want to see the Spellslinger? Do you want to see a Voltron version, a mill version, or the slimes? Let me know. Have a great day and goodbye.